Oh yeah, the
Sure.
other one was
See?
shingles. They're promoting a shingles vaccine for seniors.
Gee.
Come
Yeah.
on, man. If I lived on my roof, fine, I would need maybe a vaccine for shingles, but I'm never out there, so.
Maybe your house is sick. It needs a vaccine for shingles.
All right, here we are, Angry Beaver Radio, back 2018, and it's a big wrap up of the year episode. I'm Daniel, of course. We're here with Mike, and
Yeah.
and we're gonna start off the show, I guess, on a sadder note, or more serious, somber note, with the loss of one of our co-hosts, Mark, who passed away a few months ago. So this episode will be in tribute to him, in memory of Angry Beaver Radios everywhere, I guess.
Yeah, it's been quite the year. It's been about 4 months now of his passing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But we did one show with him before that when he came on, and we did a show and talking about what went on with him and all the things that was happening in his travels through life and all that kind of stuff. And it was an up and downhill battle with him, and finally the battle won. You know what I mean? And so it's quite the loss, and probably I'm the only immediate family member left.
Wow.
That's it. Everybody else is gone. I got cousins all over the place. There's no problem there, but just immediate family are basically all gone. So, but they're looking down on us and making sure we're okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's. I guess on a personal note, it's a bit sad that we didn't keep the show going on regular, because I know Mark liked it, and it would have given him something to hang on to, I guess, or live for. But I guess you can't look at it that way, because illness and.
You got to take care of yourself, and he just let his health go downhill, and spent a lot of time in hospital. And there was one point where he was doing pretty good, like there was some hope for him and stuff like that too, right? But then he went into hospital a couple of times afterwards, and when you do that so many times, your health goes downhill and stuff like that too, right? So he even told the doctors that he just didn't like the life he was leading.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, look, it only takes a split second to make up your mind what do you want to do with your life, and,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that too, right? So life can be quite cruel, I know for a fact, and, they say there's only the strong will survive, and, but I'm surprised he survived as long as he did.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, and of course I met Mark and Mike at the same time down at the street actions. We used to have Toronto Truth Seeker street actions at Yonge and Dundas in downtown Toronto. And you guys were always out there handing out flyers and 9/11 Truth shirts. And
oh, for sure. That was like our anniversary too, when we first met, I think about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
2008, somewhere like, I don't know if it was 2008 or 9,
Mm-hmm.
around there anyways,
Yeah, so we're approaching the 10 years, and we had Angry Beaver Radio running on a regular basis for a few years there too, but even that's a few years ago now.
Yes. So a lot of changes have come and gone and stuff like that too, right? The original host of our show, we don't know where he is right now, and so he took on Angry Beaver Radio and stuff like that too, right?
Yeah,
so,
that'd be Johnny Beaver or Johnny Bernard, who was host of the show when we were Truth Frequency Radio days.
Yes, I remember that, yeah.
And I haven't talked to him in a while, but we gotta just hope wherever he is that he's still info jamming the mainstream.
Yeah, I hope so too, right? But as in the truth seeking world, people come and go, and it's hard to keep track of everybody and stuff like that too, right? So even some of the old crew that we used to hang around with. I haven't talked with them, like Junior and
Hmm.
all the other guys too, right? I haven't seen any of those guys. The last
Yeah,
one
it's.
I did see was Tom, but that was a few years ago now.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah, it's the truth seeking. It seems to do that to people, that there's different outcomes. Some people stick with it, like you can see that we're the diehards. We've stuck with it, but
Yes, yes, yeah. We
others
have.
will give it up, or they'll join in on the conspiracy. Some of them,
Yes, 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 yes.
and then there's others that'll give it up, and then there's the worst case, I guess, is that the people that sort of lose their mind because of it. Because once you go deeper down the rabbit hole, you start finding everything's basically a conspiracy, and that the New
Yeah.
World Order's got its hooks in everywhere.
Oh, for sure, yeah. So yeah, you got to keep both eyes and your ears open and sleep with one eye open, one eye closed, type of thing. And yeah, so yeah, the rabbit hole gets deeper and deeper all the time. And like when you research all the time, it can do a lot to your subconscious mind.
Yeah, exactly.
So
And
sometimes you end up giving up and thinking, hey, what's the use? I don't think I'm getting anywhere with this.
mhm.
We've had our ups and downs with our truth seeking. Sometimes days were better than others, and sometimes you think that I might as well give this thing up because I don't think we're getting anywhere.
Mhm.
Especially when it comes to 9/11 and stuff like that too. You think, well, maybe we're not going to get in the new investigation. So what's the use of continuing, type of thing.
Mhm.
But then again, if you end up looking at it that way, then you're going to look at everything that way. So it's self-defeating, really.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Is with 9/11, and then there's that wasn't, of course, the only thing we would hand out the flyers on back in the day. We had the vaccine flyers. We had stuff on. It was the H1N1, I guess, was the panic when we started the Toronto Truth Seekers, and
Yes, yes, yes. Right at that time when we were interviewed by the news.
Mhm.
Out there,
Yeah,
there was.
because we had the table out on the street. They were saying, "Who are these
Yes,
guys?"
yeah, yeah. So yeah, that was 2009, I believe.
Now, if you look into it or see what they were up to, basically they would want to blame people like us. The vaccine resistance is what they claim is what spreads the disease. And it's the
Yeah,
reason
yeah,
that other people get it is because some people won't take the vaccine.
yeah. I don't know what the numbers are for the vaccines nowadays, but they're still pushing it.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we have sort of passed that season. I think usually the fall it starts up, and you
Yeah,
see the get your shots everywhere.
Yeah. Hmm.
Now that they've got the pharmacies able to shoot people up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I was watching Sonia from the Truther Girls, and she said she's been fighting the flu for last several days,
Oh
right?
no. Yeah,
And
I even had a bug a few days ago too. It was I don't know if it was a flu, but it was definitely like definitely I had to like sleep for like a whole day.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
never really had that
exactly.
without being, I've never really been so tired without having not slept for a while or having, done some like strenuous exercise or something. I
Yeah,
always
yeah.
get tired from that, but this was just like all of a sudden I got so tired, and so it's some weird bugs going around, I guess.
Yeah, 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 for sure. Well, I've been pretty lucky so far this year because I've retired from work.
Oh, congratulations on that.
Yeah, since September 1st.
Nice.
That was it.
And we're here at the end of December now, 2018. So we're almost in the new year here in 2019.
Yes, yes.
So we got to do, I guess, a year in review. We got to talk about some of the biggest stories we've had this year.
Oh,
And of course, the one that always stands out is the censorship, is the control of the internet. And what you're seeing this year is one of the biggest crackdowns, seems like. And the Infowars was just basically like the mainstream version of it, or there was the story that got everywhere when Alex Jones got banned from all social media on the same day or whatever.
I remember. Yeah, I haven't seen him around, and he's grown a beard too.
Yeah,
going hardcore, I guess.
Yeah, he's still having fun, but he was just the most famous person that it happened to. But it's happening everywhere.
Yeah,
People
that's
getting
true.
thrown off, deplatformed, they call it.
Right.
What had happened with me in, I guess it was August, they took my blog down.
Oh.
And the same day they took my blog down, Reasoning Conspiracy blog on WordPress, I got a strike on YouTube for a video that I had posted like 4 or 5 years ago. It was one with Rob Ford doing crack.
Oh, I see.
So it's like it's two different platforms. And even my blog, I hadn't posted anything on it for a couple months before that. So it's like, what's going on here? And but to me, that's too big of a coincidence that would happen the exact same time.
Right.
To get a strike on one and get thrown off another.
Yeah.
And then I think it might have been just last week, Facebook finally got me. They didn't give me a strike, or they didn't suspend me. They signed me out, and then they made me sign in so that they could show me this notice that they had taken down one of my posts.
Oh, yeah.
And then I go to see what post it was, and it was a post from where I'm just posting a link from my blog, but the link that I was posting was to an article.
Yeah.
That was featuring Wolfgang Halbig. Remember that guy, Wolfgang Halbig?
Yeah.
Who would speak out, just basically just asking questions about what happened at the Sandy Hook school.
Right.
And the massacre there. Basically, that topic is going to get you banned. You can't really talk about it. So we won't even mention the name of the school again, maybe, because we don't want to get this show pulled off too.
I already know what happened with that one anyway.
Yeah. Well, you got to just keep it to yourself now, because basically if you try to go against what it says on Wikipedia, then you're going to get thrown off.
You can't always trust their site anyway.
No, but basically the reason why they've created it, or the way they have, is so that if you dispute it, then you're going to be considered wrong, basically. And that
fake news.
They say that Wicked is right. Wikipedia.
Wikipedia, yeah. That's about it, dude. Well, that's what Facebook and everybody is doing, is getting rid of all this they consider fake news, getting rid of it all. Which,
so have they given you any strikes or any takedown notices or anything?
No, I've been bowling a perfect game so far.
That's good. That's good, because you'll sometimes post some controversial stuff on there, which is...
Yeah, I try to mix it up with my general stuff anyway, just to, just to make it look like I'm not just concentrating on one thing.
Yeah.
So it kind of throws them off a little bit. So I want to give out a shout out to this sweetheart of a lady that I know, and I just want to give Jenny a shout out. And hopefully she's busy right now. She might listen to the show after we post it up. So I want to say hello there, Jenny. Mahal ka guapo ko. We'll talk to you soon, okay? Peace and love to you. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, so we got some shout outs, and we've got the Angry Beaver Radio YouTube channel. Of course, Angry Beaver Radio is one of the sites that was taken down. The original YouTube channel was removed, and most likely that might have been a year before this even. That was most likely Johnny Beaver got in some trouble because he keeps info jamming the mainstream, basically posting all kinds of stuff. And then so that might have just been a thing from that, residual thing that they just took the Angry Beaver Radio off because he had started the channel. But What we're going to do, though, is because we restarted the channel, what we're going to do is try to look for some of the archives, too, to put them up. I found about 6 today, so we're going to have a few coming out in the next few days.
Oh, yeah, cool. That'll be...
So we'll at least try to get the archives up.
Yeah. That's good, yeah, for sure.
And keep going, because basically now the plan is we just keep going till we get kicked off.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Because it is probably inevitable that, because now they're really cracking down anything that's, considered a conspiracy theory. To them that's their definition of fake news.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, for sure. But we got to congratulate Donald Trump for bringing up this fake news conspiracy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was taking pot shots at CNN like crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, he's the first one to do that. Now he could be in more danger now, though, because I just saw a few days ago he tweeted something against the Fed. Did you see that?
Yes, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So now, if he's criticizing the Fed, that could be the most dangerous thing he's ever done. Just because you can't criticize the private bank that controls the whole economy.
Look what happened to JFK when he criticized the two on Wall Street and CIA and all that kind of stuff too, right?
Yeah, that is a theory on the JFK assassination, was that he was going around the Fed and he was going to create his own money, greenbacks, without.
I think that's what Trump wants to do now.
Mm-hmm.
Wants to get away from the fiat currency.
Yeah, that's why it is a dangerous thing that he's doing.
Yes.
Because these guys don't really play games. They're basically. It was a secret scheme hatched on Jekyll Island. They can say it's a conspiracy theory, but, there's pretty much evidence that the founders of the Fed were all the richest bankers of the day and that they basically took over the entire economy in 1913.
Yes, exactly. That's when it was. That's when Woodrow Wilson, who was the president at that time, signed in the Federal Reserve.
Yeah.
And he regretted it afterwards that he did. And his handler was Edward Mandell House.
Yeah. Right, Edward Mandell House, and wasn't it a Rothschild quote? Was I don't care who makes the laws. It's something who prints the money, something like that. I forget.
Yes, exactly.
But it's like basically. The money controls the nation.
Exactly. Yeah. If you control the food, you control the people, and if you control the currency, you control the nations.
Yeah.
So now, whatever happens, everything's a domino effect.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at the stock market, it's been going bottoms up the last few weeks, and now the Dow Jones. Just came back and rallied with their biggest rally in history, over 1,000 points.
Wow.
It came back.
Huh.
So it's an up and down thing, and it's unbelievable. I'm in the stock market, and whenever the bottom falls out, I feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So I got some money wrapped up. And,
yeah. Because basically, whenever those things happen, that's an opportunity for someone. They're either making a lot of money or losing a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And when all those things happen, some of that is they're just trying to shake people out, because the big houses, they don't really care about losing a bit because they got so many billions or whatever.
Yes.
They're willing to lose for a bit and then get everyone out, and then they just all the profits are theirs when it starts going the other way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you look at it, Daniel, we've known that for years that we don't have real currency anymore. It's all this fiat currency being used, and we got more fiat currency being used than actually the real money.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically on its way out.
Right. And we had been warning about for a long time. We had been warning about the Bitcoin.
Yes. I've heard so much about that. It's a good thing. You should get into it. Dan Dix, Press for Truth, he's into Bitcoin, and we always used to criticize it a number of years ago. you know,
Mhm.
that too, right? So I'm not sure if that's going to be our cryptocurrency of the future or what. Not too
Well,
sure.
what it seems to have stalled. That's the thing, because remember it was just continuously going up,
Yes, yes,
but
yes.
now the past year it's been going down. So that's where they say that where they're basically there's a lot of people that got in a few years ago that might never get, if it never comes back to that value, then
Yes, yeah, exactly.
might have lost a bunch.
Mm-hmm. So, like with the fiat currency, I think that's the fiat currency is going to be on its way out too eventually, and we're just going to have a complete uh, free cashless society.
Right.
Because I was watching a Star Trek. I think it's about 1986 one. I forget the name of it, but William Shatner and then the gang went down to Earth to save whales and stuff like that. And
Yeah, I remember that one.
yeah, when they went down, they wanted to take the bus, but they didn't have any currency. They didn't have the money to take a bus anywhere. Because where they come from, they're cashless.
Yeah, it's true. It's the Star Trek of the future. Basically, we're headed towards a Star Trek.
Exactly. So the fiat currency, I think it's going to be on its way out eventually. And, and what Trump is trying to do is get back gold standard type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he likes gold because he even has a gold toilet, I think, in his old apartment.
So does the Queen, Everybody else is starving to death, and
Trump Tower
saying, well, like the Queen saying, well, we've got all the hard times here and all this kind of stuff. And in the background, she's sitting. There's a gold piano in the back there, and she's sitting on a gold chair. And she comes out and says that about hard times. Well, she doesn't know what hard times are.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But she, well, we'll see. Everyone always counts her out because I know we've been talking about it a while that the Queen can't last forever. But once we have this succession of Prince Charles, and then we're gonna have Prince William, and then we're gonna have his son George, I think it's gonna be like 3 kings in a row at least. So this could be the last of the Queen for a while.
I seen that on Facebook something about Carmela and then Prince Charles that the Queen named them King and Queen already.
Ah, huh.
I don't know if that's.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it's official.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But I'm gonna look into that because it's bound to happen eventually. You can't keep doing this forever. That's what they're saying about the Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. You see that she's trying to hang on. She's got like lung cancer. She broke a bunch of ribs, but she even says she's gonna last 5 more years at least.
Yes,
she's in her 90s now, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the Queen's 92, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably something like that because I remember back in the Toronto Truth Seeker days when she was turning 86. Because remember that was a conspiracy. Was at 86.
Yes. Yeah.
Was going to be the year where everything's going to change, but then she's been able to stay on for at least
the
past 5 or whatever 8 years.
Actually, I've seen her in person.
In person, huh?
Yeah, I've seen her in person up at the Woodbine racetrack.
Huh. She's just watching some races, horse races.
What was the Queen's Plate?
Yeah.
That type of thing, and she happened to be out walking around on the grass with a whole bunch of her dignitaries and all that kind of stuff. And I just wanted to go to find out what the big deal was.
So this was one of her trips to Toronto.
Yes, one of her trips. That was in 2004 or something like that.
Huh.
Around there.
Yeah.
But we had to go through security and all that kind of stuff. It was just
right.
Just a pain, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't have to go through security. She doesn't.
Mhm.
All us commoners have to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, because the security is for her, basically. It's to keep her secure.
Exactly. Not everybody else, but just her. Just like when the Dalai Lama came to Toronto in 2004, which I've seen in person.
Oh, you met him? Huh.
I didn't meet him, but I saw him. Yes, I did. Yeah,
Huh.
and the CNE in the CNE grounds.
Oh, over there.
Yeah, yeah. So I had to go through security there. Had to go back. I went in one time and then I went ding, 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 and then I had to go back and check everything else. They make sure all my pockets, everything was unloaded on the table. So after about 3 or 4 times, I was able to go through. So things like that, it's getting kind of monotonous. But I had to keep a sense of humor about it.
Yeah.
So you got to do these things, when you're out there with these huge people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But when I saw the Queen, I was thinking, I don't know what the big deal is. What's so important? She's a woman. Gets got flesh and blood like we do. I mean, but it's not about that. It's about her status and in the. That's what makes her who she is. Her status, not her. She's only a short little lady, stuff like that. 92. That's not the thing. It's her status of how people perceive her.
Yeah, and I guess that's why she doesn't resign, because really, if you resign, then you lose the status.
Exactly. Yeah.
You'd be like former queen or something, or queen mother or something. I guess like her mother was.
Yeah, she was in her.
Because
Well,
when
100
you've retired, you're into a different status now, right, Mike?
Yeah.
You're into retirement mode.
Yeah, really.
But were you able to get a gold watch, or were they able to give you any benefits and anything?
Well, they gave me like gifts and stuff like that too, and
On your way out.
yeah, they gave me believe it or not, well, actually they gave me what was it? A gift certificate, $200 gift certificate for the keg.
Oh, that's good. That's an expensive place to go, yeah. So you're gonna need $200.
Exactly. Plus, they also gave me 500. Well, this was probably before I retired. They gave me a gift certificate, $500 gift certificate to Walmart.
Oh wow!
But I don't usually go and buy things in Walmart. That's the thing. Maybe Canadian Tire or something like that. You can give me something like that.
Yeah.
But Walmart, I don't really, go there that often. But I've been there lately because I have the money to do so.
Yeah, just look for something. Yeah, you'll find something. It's such a big store.
Oh, sure. Oh, definitely, for sure. Yeah, I know it's so. But yeah, I've been in a retirement mode. But the only thing is your sleeping habits. My sleeping working habits are still around because I end up getting up in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be tough to switch, because how many years were you working night shifts?
At that location, 20 years.
Wow. Yeah, that's tough, because it's basically, I think it's built into your body's internal rhythm.
Yeah.
Now.
But when I was working, I was able to go home in the morning and just to crawl into bed and go to sleep.
Yeah.
Feel refreshed. But now I don't sleep all that long. I only sleep maybe 4 hours, if that.
Mm-hmm.
I end up getting up at sometime during the night.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it might take some time, but you might get over it. But yeah, I'm sure it'll be like it for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, I had a physical checkup too, right? And other than being a few pounds over, but the doctor said, "What are you doing here, coming to see me? You're in perfect health."
Huh. Huh.
I hope you better not be lying to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
No, I don't think you will be lying to me, but
No. Well, you can't. It's harder to lie to a truth seeker because you're always going to be suspicious.
Yeah, for sure. Well, he's a new doctor, right? And
Ah.
he's Indian and stuff like that too, right? And a nice guy. He's got his wife working there, and we joke around and all that kind of stuff too, right? And
Mhm.
one of the things for your health is you got to keep a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Don't take a lot of things too seriously, you know. Just take one day at a time and just enjoy it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only trouble with now with having a sense of humor is that you'll be considered alt-right because the left wing has lost their sense of humor.
Yeah, exactly.
So now anyone that tells jokes or anything is considered alt-right.
Yeah, yeah. I know.
It's how ridiculous it is.
It is, yeah.
But
for
all
sure.
the labels is basically the way I see it is as soon as you see someone trying to give these labels out or accept the labels or whatever, take the labels, then you know that they're in on the New World Order scam.
Yeah.
They might not be in on, they're involved with it.
Yeah.
It might be over their head that what they're actually supporting is a New World Order scam, but definitely definitely you see it. That's what, even before we went on air and you mentioned that yellow vest. It's
Yes,
one of the
yes.
biggest global movements going on right now or whatever.
And yeah, they've come to Canada, haven't
You
they?
got people suspecting that that's another New World
Yeah.
Order scam, It's like basically one of these colored revolutions.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw a thing, too, where they compare them to the white helmets, the yellow vests to the white helmets. Because remember in Syria they did a
Yes, yes.
white helmet scheme where they got all these ISIS guys to pretend they were medics.
Yes, yes. I heard about that, yeah.
From what it looked like it was a British intelligence had set it up, and
Hmm.
then basically they used the white helmets for propaganda videos, and then they use them for anytime they do like a chemical gas attack. They get the white helmets to seems like they're the ones that will perpetrate it, and then they will also be around to film it all to make it
Yes, yes. Hmm.
a Hollywood type thing.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Send the
Yeah.
footage around the world so that basically when Trump just recently said that he wants to pull all the troops out of Syria,
Yes, yes.
now they're saying the countdown is on before they pull another fake chemical attack
Yeah.
to
Hmm.
make sure that the U.S. has to stay.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, but we've heard that bring the troops home before, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
We've heard all that rhetoric before, and what makes this any different?
Well, the one difference is that it does seem like a lot of people have turned against Trump for saying it, and even the Secretary of Defense resigned because he said it.
Yes, yes, exactly.
So that's where it seems almost a bit more real.
Hmm.
Those guys, the guy wouldn't have resigned probably if Trump wasn't serious about ending the war.
Yes, yeah.
And even Fox News, which is like the only news organization that has like any pro-Trump arguments ever on its network, is almost all their news reporters are against, all their anchors are against ending the war. It's only Tucker Carlson, I think, and
Judge Janine.
Judge Janine. Yeah, there's only a few of them
Yeah,
that are actually anti-war.
Yes, I like her. I listen to her all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, she's good. Tucker Carlson, too. He's one of the best, but then that's the thing, is that if you try to speak out against things like war, then you're going to have, like, Antifa showing up at your door trying to get inside your house
Yeah.
and, like, trying to destroy you, basically, because war is what these people love. And that's, I think that's, like, basically, that's why Antifa is so militant, is because they just want war on the streets.
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, chaos. Yeah. They want
And and the less war, then there's going to be less refugees, right? Because that's what they say is all the Syrian refugees are fleeing war. So if there's less war, then
yeah,
you can have less refugees, and then that also takes a lot of, that's like what Antifa wants is more refugees, so that there's more chaos. And
Exactly. So, which I'm glad you brought that up because I was looking for a motel for Mark
Uh-uh.
this past Sunday, or not Sunday, but I mean this past summer
Yeah.
before it passed, and we went to one of the ones motels
Oh,
on
no.
Hudson Dixie area,
Hmm.
right? And
It's
we
a
went in.
migrant motel?
For me?
Was it, like, full of migrants or one of those?
Well, when we went in there, we wanted to get a room, see if we can get one. I wanted to go in there and get one for Mark,
Yeah.
and the guy there was different than the one that I seen a few years back. They changed ownership,
Huh.
and it was and actually a migrant at the counter,
Hmm.
right? And I asked, like, I want to, excuse me, I want a room for my brother, blah blah blah. And he says, well, we're already booked. You're gonna have to come back another day. And I said, how come? So, well, this hotel is booked up for the Somalian migrants.
Oh, no.
And I
Whole
said,
hotel.
the, all the hotels along that strip
Oh, wow.
are for the migrants. And I said,
Wow.
what are you talking about? And I said, I'm born and bred here, and all this kind of stuff. And he just looked up at me and he says, well, I'm sorry, it's the law.
The law.
It's the law.
Yeah, well, it is becoming that way with the global migration compact that the UN put out or whatever.
Yes.
And they've
Yeah.
all signed on to. They say it's a non-binding thing, but basically that's becoming the law. Is that when the UN says you're going to have to take people, then you have to take them.
And he says they have priority.
Hmm. Yeah, which is scary because basically, you're not giving them a realistic view of Canada that way, because you're making them think that you can get something for free. You know, you can live in a motel, and that things are, that's the way that Canada is. But then they don't realize that, like, for actual Canadians, is that you'll be living on the street, and that there's thousands of homeless people in downtown Toronto that can't get into shelters. So they're just outside all winter.
Yeah. See that all over the place,
And these are people that are born in Canada, and they've gone to Canadian school, the public school system, and this is what happens to them.
And they have had probably good jobs at the time, and then when a recession hits, or if your company goes bottoms up, you're left on the street. And that's the way things are going now.
Yeah. Which is ridiculous that there is no program for actual Canadians that are in a bad financial place.
No, we gotta claw, and we gotta gouge our way through life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So in that sense, it is really a bad program because you're not giving them the realistic view of what their future is going to be like. Like these people, they're surviving however bad the conditions are in the countries that they're coming from. Somalia is probably pretty bad. Like everyone's poor there and everything. But the thing is that they don't realize that the future generations, if they stay in this country and then have, kids and grandkids, that when those kids grow up and have hard times, basically there's no handout. Like there's no free hotel room for them. They're gonna just be on the street with everyone else that's Canadian.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
And what we need to do is start giving people in other countries a realistic view of Canada. That basically almost everyone's poor except for people like Justin Trudeau. That are very rich.
Yes.
And Justin Trudeau is very rich. And I think he doesn't want to reveal why, but it's because his family was in the oil business a long time ago.
Yeah.
And that he just basically inherited it or had a trust fund.
Yes.
And for the average Canadian, you don't have that type of history.
No, you don't. No.
And if you're in a bad spot, if you're in a rough place, there really is nowhere for you to go. There's no support system all the stuff that's being set up for migrants doesn't really exist for Canadians.
No, we're left on our own, basically.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm in a good position here now that I'm retired. I'm getting my CPP,
Hmm.
which is it's not bad if you're not going out and spending your money a lot. You
Yeah.
know. But living here, I've got the best of both worlds. You know what I mean? And I'm like next year, on maybe June, in around there, I'm going to put in for my complete pension.
Wow. Yeah.
So,
So
but
that basically that's the one of the big things that is worth protecting, I guess, is the pensions, because I know that's one of the New World Order schemes too, is that they're going to want to take away the pensions, bankrupt it all, and
yeah. Mm-hmm.
and take them away. So that's why it's good that you're into it now, because
But I think I retired at the right time, so I'd be able to save myself and save. I've got money backup, so like I'm not worried about that.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah, but I am worried that in a few generations there's not even going to be pensions for anyone.
No.
And it's like, basically we can't, the government can't really afford, the government can hardly afford the hundreds of millions of dollars we're spending on the hotels just for these migrants.
Yeah, there's our pensions going right there.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, so I might as well get the pension while I can, because get the CPP takes about 14 weeks, I believe, to receive it.
Mm-hmm.
And your old age pension, it takes about 32 weeks, something like that. So it takes longer.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to get that, you got to go to Service Canada.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And Service Canada is very busy.
Yeah, you're going to be take a number and wait in line or whatever.
Yeah, you got to sit down and wait and all that kind of stuff. And, there's more immigrants or migrants in these places than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing.
Yeah. Because I think what they need to access all this free stuff is they need to have some kind of ID. So that's probably why if you spend a few days waiting in line or whatever, try to get an ID, then you can have, a few months in a hotel or something maybe. Yeah.
So that's what the migrants probably do. With people that are sponsoring them have the money for backup.
Mm-hmm. And the violence is one of the things that people are worried about. And I know with this year, it's been, Toronto's become like the most violent city in Canada.
Yes, there's 96 murders in Toronto so far this year. We still got a few more days left.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically every few days you're going to hear about a mass shooting and or multiple shots fired or whatever at buildings and people. And
yes, exactly, for sure. So, but I've been predicting for the last month or so that by the end of the year we're going to reach 100.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see it just because this weekend is always a big weekend when it's the New Year's Eve.
Yes.
Always parties and stuff.
Oh, for sure. Because crime never takes a holiday.
No. Never. And the thing, they can say that, that's what the migrants are fleeing is violence, so they're not going to be the ones committing it, but then if it's part of, it's part of their lifestyle, you can't expect them to totally assimilate to start living like Canadians, It's like...
Yeah.
If that's the life that they've been living for years in these camps or whatever overseas, then they're not going to just stop living like that.
Exactly.
And they've already got one guy, Syrian refugee, who killed a 12-year-old girl, I think it was, in Vancouver.
Yes.
It was a very young girl that was killed. And he did it within the first few months of getting here.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And basically that one is actually on Trudeau, because Trudeau did have a quote saying that it'll be his fault if one of these refugees does something. So,
well, when you do this kind of thing, he's just opening up the border like crazy, and they get all these not all of them are bad, but you're going to get ISIS, you're going to got Al Qaeda in there, which we already have ISIS and Al Qaeda in here already.
Right.
And we've been warned. I heard that we've been warned that something could come up anytime now, anytime soon.
Yeah.
Be a terrorist attack.
Yeah. And what happened in Toronto on the Danforth? That one's a big question mark too.
Yes.
With ISIS and Al Qaeda.
Yes. Yeah.
And then there was the other big mass murder in Toronto was the van attack. They call it Yonge Street van attack.
Right on the sidewalk. Yeah.
And that one they don't blame on ISIS or Al Qaeda. They blame that one on what's it called? MRAs or something? Men's rights.
Yeah.
Or what do they call them? Incel. I think that's what they call it. Incel.
But I think it's like it's all been set up to have some guy who's probably mentally ill or something like that.
Yeah.
To go and do these things, and then the government blames something else. You know what I mean? It's just.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I think all these things are all set up.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Just for us to live in fear. Because fear is a great tool to work with.
Yeah.
Right? People will bow down to anybody if you instill fear into people. Mm-hmm. Right? Just like anything else, you know.
Yeah. That's why I guess you got to just try to stay brave, because it is scary times when you see that there's 96 people killed and hardly any of the murders have been solved. They say it's just street crime or drug related or whatever, but it's obviously if the crime hasn't been solved, then the murderers are still out there. They're just a guy walking down the street probably. Yeah,
for sure. You don't know who he is, really.
Mm-hmm.
That type of thing.
Because they don't release descriptions anymore of the suspects.
No, they don't. No.
So nobody has any idea.
It's a pretty scary scenario that we're in right now, and but the cop. No, when the bottom line is the cops are not out there to protect anybody. Mm-hmm. Their job is to solve the crime, not to stop it. Crime is a business. Yeah. Like disease is a business. You know, they don't want cures, they want customers. That's what they want.
Hold on, I gotta show and tell here. Do we have a let me put my camera back on here.
Show and tell. Reminds me.
This is evidence of 1 year. This is what happens now that we have a system here. The Toronto public transit has gone cashless.
Everything is all Presto.
They're trying to go Presto, right? But what they have is, because the Presto doesn't really work, it's a scam. So what they still allow people to pay with either token or cash or whatever.
Right.
But when you do that, you have to take a transfer, right? So what I've been doing is I've been saving my transfers in this thing here. Look at this. This is 1 year. This is
Holy tamale.
It's like almost the size of my head here. This is 1 year of transfers. This is just going one way and back. And I don't even go downtown every day. I'm only there, maybe 4 days a week.
Wow.
This is how many you run up with, right? This is all the transfers.
Looks like you make a sandwich out of that.
Yeah. And I just wanted to see how much it is, because it's like, this is totally ridiculous. But the only reason I have to carry these is because they now have these transit police, these they're like transit enforcement, these guys walking around with batons. And if you don't have your receipt, then their only job is to give you a ticket. They don't actually have another job other than that.
Yeah.
And that's why I need to keep my transfer with me, because I don't want to get the whatever $400, $300 ticket or however much it is.
Well, just hand them your whole bundle of give them your whole bundle and say, "Here, go."
Yeah, I should start carrying this whole thing around with me.
Then here somewhere. You got 2 or 3 hours so I can go through all these things.
So this is what transit enforcement has caused. And this is a lot of paper, too, when you think about it. Because you think about, basically everyone has to have this, unless you have the Presto. Now, the thing is with the Presto,
Yeah.
Why that's an even bigger scam is because the station I go to a lot when I'm downtown, St. Andrew Station,
Right.
there was a whole thing for like a few weeks where you had to line up and only go through one or two of the Presto turnstiles. So the people with Presto were looked like they were there 15 to 20 minutes just to get in. Whereas anyone with anything else was able to just walk in.
Well, I've
just
seen
pay
that,
and walk in.
yeah, because I went in there downtown
It's
one
crazy.
time. Yeah, they went in. They changed all the turnstiles instead of those rods that you had to go through. But now it's just little plastic doors.
Yeah, cheap plastic doors that they're not even instantaneous. They're like you got to wait a second and then they open.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. Because I
The
bought.
sensor.
But last year I bought one bicycle downtown, and the Bloor station, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to get through, and they changed.
That's the
They
busiest.
changed it, so I had to try and get the bicycle through the plastic
Oh
doors,
no!
and I was stuck. And I had to ask, "Can you please open it up?" Even though I put my Presto card in there.
Yeah.
So it's a complete headache.
Yeah, it is.
What happened to the good old days?
It's true. That's what's happened here, and it is a ridiculous scam.
Yeah.
And the unfortunate thing is that the guy that put it in for Toronto is now running New York, so he's going to do the same scam in New York.
That's right. Yeah. I heard the other guy that was the English fellow. He retired or something like that.
Yeah, no, that guy. He's retired from Toronto, but now he's moved on to New York. So maybe it's because he's gotten promoted.
Yeah.
Andy Byford and.
But I like the old days when you have your little ticket stub and you give it and you put it in the box. When you get on the TTC.
Yeah, those are the days. Now, what you'll get is a baton
over your head if you don't pay.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how ridiculous it's getting, and that's just one of the New World Order scams we're seeing.
Yeah, but with the Presto card, you can actually get discounts to Ripley's Aquarium. 10% off. Sweet scam, I can tell you that. The sweet scam.
They did catch a guy swimming naked in the Ripley's Aquarium.
Yes, I remember.
Swimming with sharks.
Maybe they thought that was part of the show, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, Aquaman. Aquaman appears.
Look, when you're looking at that scenario, he got charged with it swimming in there naked. But what if he was in there with clothes on? It wouldn't be so bad, would it?
Well, it's probably bad just because the animals are probably have a small space in there as well. And yeah, I don't know if they really they don't really know that you're not food, like the big sharks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm just not sure how big the sharks are in there. I haven't actually been in yet. I've been in the lobby of the aquarium.
I've been in. It's a pretty amazing aquarium.
But do they have the large sharks, or is it just the small ones?
Well, the sharks were quite big that I could see. They have them they have them like swimming right over top of you.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see.
And you're in like a tunnel type of thing. You know what I mean? With aquariums on either side, type of thing. And they had the stingrays there as well. You can actually pet the stingrays because they got the stingers taken out.
Huh.
And you can't hold them because they're so slippery.
Mm-hmm.
They had the small ones and they got big ones there, and they got a whole bunch of them in there.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is.
So it just to even go once, it's a must see if you like these type of animals and stuff like that. But I think all animals should be free to swim wherever they are in their own environment.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's true. Do you have any show and tell or any?
Well, I'm wearing my old 9/11 hat. Yeah, let's see, where am I here?
Oh, Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah. 9/11,
Well,
yeah.
9/11, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely bold enough that everyone's going to notice.
Yeah, because I've got this. I got this at the place where at Square One where you can get these hats all done.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get one that said 9/11 was an inside job,
Mm-hmm.
and they couldn't do it.
Ah.
They said it's against their policy.
Ah.
It's too political.
Huh. Does it say something above it? Though, is there? It looks like there's some red above.
Investigate.
Investigate. Oh, that's good. Yeah.
And I still have my old 9/11 T-shirt from way back when I bought it at this site. It's called 9/11 Share the Truth.
Ah.
Let's see, where is it here? Where are we here? Here's one you probably remember.
Oh yeah, Northwoods. Wow.
Yeah. Operation Northwoods.
Yeah.
Conspiracy culture.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah, I know it.
Conspiracy culture.
Don't wear it as much anymore.
Yeah.
I want to keep it good and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Conspiracyculture.com, one of Toronto's oldest conspiracy-related businesses, maybe in the world, one of the biggest.
Probably, yeah. Here we go.
Investigate 9/11. Yeah, honor the fallen by relentless pursuit of the truth.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Yeah, we need a lot of that now, especially more now than ever before, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because as it's like now we're in the countdown to the 20-year anniversary, which is surprising, because I remember the 10-year anniversary. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, we were out there on the streets, doing all this 9/11 stuff and
a
whole bit, and so it was quite the ride we had. You know what I mean? And, But one thing about being on the streets, you can talk to people personally and stuff like that, get their input and stuff like that too.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we've had our fair shares of shills that came in and tried to debunk us and everything else too, right? So,
yeah. Figure them out.
Exactly, yeah, for sure. That was fun though.
Yeah,
it was fun, especially when we went to Dundas Square. And I got interviewed by the Toronto Star.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. That was when the architects and engineers had a billboard campaign.
Yes.
What happened at Building 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got interviewed in the paper.
Yeah.
They also had the big hearings in Toronto.
Yeah, 2011 for that.
9/11. Yeah, that would have been the 10-year anniversary, I guess.
Yes, yeah.
And we've got even Donald Trump. You can find clips of him talking about how he thought it must have been something more than planes.
Yes.
The way that those buildings fell.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
A little something more.
Exactly, for sure. Well, with Dan Dix from Press for Truth, him and I had a little sort of like we're commenting that he believes that planes did hit the building.
Ah.
Right?
Yeah.
But then I got away from the planes hitting the buildings and said passenger planes never hit the buildings.
Huh.
Never hit the buildings. No passenger planes.
Yeah.
If there were any planes, it probably would have been, military.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But other than that, there was no passenger planes whatsoever that hit the buildings.
The Twin Towers one is a bit harder to argue on that one, just because of the footage people always point to, but
yes,
the Pentagon, I'm pretty sure, was not hit by a plane at all.
Yeah.
When you see the schematic or like the trajectory it would have to be on to be able to go that low to hit the building the way it did, it like almost seems impossible.
And it was noted that this guy couldn't even fly. He couldn't even get a Cessna off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And how
Yeah.
could he do that spectacular move of a big 757 or 747 right into the building? It would be impossible,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
And with planes hitting the Twin Towers, I think if it was military, because it was passenger planes. There were actually, I told Dan, I said, look, there's no plane parts whatsoever around the Twin Towers. So how can an airplane just disintegrate?
Hmm.
It's impossible. You're going to have seats, luggage, and bodies everywhere. There's
Yeah.
nothing. There was nothing there.
Hmm. Yeah, it really doesn't make sense. And now it's become one of the biggest cover-ups, and yeah, basically most people have given up on it. They
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
won't talk about it. They're just moving on to other stuff. And then part of that is because there's so much stuff happening that it's
Mhm.
like it's too much for people to keep up. It's too much for people to keep up with something that happened in the past when there's so much new stuff happening.
Well, when you look at all the new stuff that's happening, it goes back to that particular day.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you can't dismiss it completely.
Exactly, but they don't want people to think in depth like that. They don't want people to look for the root of the problem. They want people to just be aware of what's next, and then basically you can overwhelm people totally because it never stops.
Yeah.
There's always
Exactly.
a new scam that they're doing.
It's a vicious cycle we're actually going through right now.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And the war on terror is like the main
Yes, it is. Yeah,
scam that they've
exactly. It's
that
supposed
connects it all.
supposed to continue on and on and on.
But what about for 2018? Was there any stories that stick out for you for the year?
What was it? Well, few things. There was like that explosion in New York, like a transmitter blew up,
Huh.
and it was the whole sky lit up like blue.
Wow.
That just happened just the other day.
Wow, I don't know if I've seen that footage. I'll have to look
It
for
was
it.
on somebody posted it on Facebook, and I saw it on the news as well.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah,
But
that reminds me of that Project Bluebeam or Project Blue Book or
yeah, because I think there's more to it than what we're being told. There's probably something else going on.
yeah, some kind of atmospheric testing,
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
something.
And the environment is another thing that that people are still concerned about and all that kind of stuff. And because I have some friends of mine, some people I know who went to Antarctica
Ah,
for vacation
huh. Wow.
and stuff like that too, right? And place is just full of snow, but it's a dry cold.
Wow.
It's not
Antarctica, the one that's in the south.
like in the south. Yeah,
Wow.
they took a trip there. Tons of penguins, tons of animals. It's because the environment is better there.
Mhm. That is something that if you had the flat earthers, they would be totally going wild if you had brought that up, because they believe that Antarctica you can't go to, right? I think,
Yeah.
or that it doesn't exist.
I talked to a bus driver before I retired, and he believes that that the Earth is like a disc, not totally flat like a pancake, but
Yeah.
it's a disc.
Huh.
He believes that it's a disc.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
round.
I do believe you should be allowed to believe whatever you want in that sense, just because we can't really prove that it's flat or ball.
Well, if you're on an airplane, which I've been up in, you can
Other
see
than theoretically, you can't actually see it for yourself.
when you're up, because we were up like when we took the tour, like 37,000 feet in the air.
Mm-hmm.
You could see the Earth curving
Yeah,
as it's going around. 'Cause
yeah,
the mo-
you can see a curve, but you can't see the ball. You can't see the shape of the ball unless you were in outer space.
Exactly, because it's too big, so your perception of it is probably different.
Yeah, exactly. So in that sense, like, because even you can find the clips of Neil deGrasse Tyson, the scientist, saying that the Earth is pear-shaped. I think we even used to play the clips on Angry Beaver Radio.
Yeah.
Shaped like a pear.
Yeah.
So it's like, in that sense, you should be allowed to believe whatever shape it is. It's just that I don't know if you're gonna, it's almost like a playing God thing when when you're so sure that you know what it is, that the Earth. Because think of how small we are compared to the Earth. It's like, it would be like asking a bug to talk about, the room you're in or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, asking a bug to talk about conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I like to know what a cricket thinks of what's the environment. What's their look about? What's their comment on the environment? I like to know what they're thinking.
See what they're chirping.
Yeah, for sure. I wonder if it's a conspiracy chirp or just the general chirp or what. Because bugs know, animals know about things because they live in a natural environment.
Yeah.
Right? So I'd like to know what they're thinking about things.
Yeah.
They have a voice too, I think.
Right.
So I don't know.
The insect kingdom, they won't. They don't get the same respect as the animal.
Well, the animals, the government actually just not too long ago said now these animals are just like the way we are. Mm-hmm. Sentient beings.
Yeah.
So that means, because it's against the law to kill another sentient being like ourselves. It's against the law. The law of nature, the law of everything else, right? Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But now the government categorized them as also sentient beings. Huh. So that means if you kill a deer, that means you should go to jail for it. Mm-hmm. Right? It's the same thing. But we don't, because they're considered lower. Mm-hmm. But why would you call them sentient beings for animals that we should be up here the same height?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
not animal down here. We should be all up here at the same. Because we all have feelings. We all feel pain. Mm-hmm. Even insects feel pain. They feel pain too as well. Mm-hmm. So they're all part of the sentient being classification.
Yeah.
So we must respect all animals.
Right.
Regardless.
Yeah. Yeah. But that is the hope, but it's like you'd want humans to respect humans, and then it's like if humans could respect humans, then maybe you could trust them with respecting animals, but they can't even respect, humans can't even respect each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. Like George Carlin said one time about protecting the environment and protecting the world. How can we protect anything that big when we can't even take care of ourselves?
Yeah,
exactly. It's true. Absolutely right on that.
Yeah, it's true. And at least we now have a environmental minister that is putting the environment as a top. I don't know if it's a top priority, but it's definitely a top travel priority, because you see that they had this thing in Poland, and she brought over like 150 delegates with her, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that. It was like 2 planefuls or something of people. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then they wouldn't let Rebel Media in. Rebel Media's over there. So Rebel Media is locked out, and then they see them all. They're all on diesel buses. They're all driving on these diesel buses.
Yeah.
To get there, flying halfway across the world to go to like a few days conference.
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
like, imagine the carbon footprint of the environmental conference.
Oh, for sure.
It's
I know.
Crazy. And then this is, she was nicknamed Climate Barbie, and it really upset her.
Oh.
By the Rebel Media.
Yeah.
But that's what she's known as, I guess. Climate Barbie, the Minister of Environment and Climate Change. They've changed it to it used to be just the Environment Minister. Now it's the Minister of Environment and Climate Change. So they put it in the ministerial.
Yeah. But the climate change, the whole thing has been debunked so many times. Like we've talked about it previously on Angry Beaver Radio about the climate.
Yeah.
Were we the problem with the melting of the ice age?
No.
Oh, of course not.
And we also have the situation where almost all the predictions of Al Gore's Inconvenient Truth have already like come to pass. Like the dates have already happened, and nothing's really changed. There's no. There's supposed to be no ice on Mount Everest and all this.
Yeah, yeah. But hey, look, when I went on the tour to China, I went up to the mountains, and they had snow-capped mountains.
Yeah. Yeah, so Al Gore is a bit off there, and
a bit off.
And who knows what happened in the sequel? I think they even came out with a sequel this year. I haven't seen it, but it's probably even worse propaganda than the 2006 one.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the 2006 one, it was still people were still like believing it could be true. You know, they were still.
Right.
Now almost everyone knows that it's a scam.
Yeah, an inconvenient lie.
Yeah, inconvenient lie. Totally. Yeah. It's the climate depot.
Yeah, when you're looking at the climate's been changing for billions of years.
Mm-hmm.
It's been debunked. I saw a video where this lady who was part of the environmental thing, and this guy, I forget, saw it there last week, and he was debunking her about this climate change, and he said our climate's been changing for billions of years. And you're coming to tell me about what's happening now? Climate change now? Climate change has been going on for billions of years. So what are you talking about?
It's true.
So he basically just threw her under the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I agree with him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because really we've hit a point where it doesn't, it's obvious that the climate changes. It's obvious that there's different weather patterns, and that, it's so obvious that basically all they have now to do is try to just make some money on it. And that's why they have the carbon tax. They're pushing it through.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The one good thing about being in Ontario, though, is that the Premier is against it.
Yes,
Doug Ford. And he's actually willing, and he's got, because he's the Premier of Ontario, he's got at least the legal budget that he could actually challenge it.
Yes.
One of the only guys who could actually do it. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
the trouble is that the federal is who wants to put it in. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
It becomes a conflict.
Yeah, exactly. And now I think for Windsor, I think Windsor actually took fluoride out of the water system a few years ago.
Yeah.
But now they want to put it back in. They're going to be putting it back in the water.
Oh,
again.
No.
Yeah.
You're talking about that? Oh, no.
Yeah, they're putting it back.
Yeah, that's bad. That's what we need the environmentalists on, because basically all that fluoride ends up getting dumped into the lake. It's like they put it through the water, and the stuff, at least only the stuff that you don't absorb. Like, I guess basically everyone's going to absorb a bit by drinking it and using it in the shower and everything. Yeah. But everything that doesn't absorb, everything that gets wastewater or that is like human waste or whatever, with tainted fluoride, all goes back into the natural ocean or what.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like all that fluoride just gets dumped. So it's like that's where we need an environmental movement.
Exactly.
Say that we don't need this industrial toxic sludge added.
Yeah. But when people are putting it back into the water, they're wearing protective clothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Doing that, but they're putting it in the water. We're not protected at all.
No, we aren't.
No, we're not. So that's something new that's going to happen probably now, or probably in the new year. They're going to put it back into the water again.
Yeah, or vote on it.
But how many people actually drink tap water? I see people buying tons of bottled water.
Yeah, that's true. But I think a lot of the bottled water is tap water. They just sell it in a bottle form. Yeah.
Well, I use buy the bottled water, the big jugs.
Yeah.
And it's by reverse osmosis.
Yeah, that's the best stuff.
Yes, because you got to get the mineral salt count down as close to zero as you can.
Yeah.
Dissolved mineral salts that, like in bottled water, is so high. It's like almost 350, 400
Ah.
in that department.
Yeah.
But by reverse osmosis, like the Devani water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, they're by reverse osmosis.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I like the taste. It tastes more pure.
Yeah.
So this water that I'm using is really good. You can use it for cooking and all that kind of stuff. So it's good stuff, you know.
Yeah, that was one of the movements that there was in Toronto. There was End Fluoride Toronto. I haven't seen much from them.
No.
It seems to have gone.
Lawrence McCurry also went to the plant.
Yeah, and they wouldn't let him in. I remember, yeah.
Yeah,
There's a video on that.
For
It
sure.
might be a Press for Truth one.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to, it was the Doors Open Toronto, I think, where they have the open house
Yes.
at the plant. And the Toronto plant, the main one, that one in the East End, is famous just because it's in a lot of movies as a jail. It looks like a jail from the outside.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
And I think it's even in the movie Half Baked, it's the jail.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And speaking of Half Baked, I guess that was one of the big stories of 2018 was the cannabis legalization, which is
Right. Mm-hmm.
that in that sense that was a scam too, just because it's a total government monopoly takeover of
Exactly.
an industry.
And how do you know
industry that they had been charging people for years?
And how do you know you're getting the real deal? How do you know?
You don't. And what they have proven, though, is that a bunch of the legal stuff had mold on it and stuff, had to be recalled. So it was even more dangerous than stuff on the street.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is scary.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
And then they're using Canada Post, their other monopoly, as the delivery mechanism. And they've already got the alcohol monopoly.
Yes, now you can buy alcohol anywhere now.
Yeah.
Buy it in Walmart. You can buy beer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And they basically they shut down a lot of all the dispensaries and everything, and now they're trying to open up their own. Toronto, the biggest city, and Ontario, the biggest province, there's only going to be 25 stores, and I think only 5 in Toronto, 25 in the province.
That's not many.
No, so it's going to be big lineups. Anyone that wants illegal stuff, that's where you know that the legalization was a bit of a scam, but
yeah,
at least it was something people celebrated. At least
Ontario's got the highest population of just over 14 million people.
Yeah, exactly. So that was something that happened. Other major story, of course, is always the Me Too movement. I guess it's been a story for a few years now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But we all know that that's like sort of got a scam to it too.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though there is real victims and there is real perpetrators and stuff, but
yeah,
you can't really, it's not the thing to be glamorizing sexual assault or whatever.
No, not at all. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. I remember getting off that topic. I remember I was because they're doing a lot of construction here. In Mississauga for putting the pipelines in and all that kind of stuff. It's ongoing for going to be for 3 years until 2021 for the new rail line going through.
Ah,
right, LRT.
Wow,
that's true, right? And I'm standing at the corner, right, and there's a lady police officer directing traffic. And we hear about pedestrians. And as I'm crossing, and I told the cop, I'm not a pedestrian. I'm a libertarian. She told me you can't cross. Sorry. Sorry, you can't cross. Libertarian. We both had a good laugh there for minutes. Pedestrian sounds like, why do we call each other a pedestrian for? It sounds political term.
Yeah, it does.
And is a dog, if you're walking your dog, is your dog considered a pedestrian?
Pedestrian. And then, well, you know that the head of the implementers of the New World Order are the Praetorians, so that also sounds similar.
Praetorians, you got historians, you got a bunch of political terms.
Yeah. All right, I think the Praetorians were the they're like the head, they're almost like the keepers of the slaves or the slave gladiators. Because that's in Spartacus they have the Praetorian is like the guy that teaches the other gladiators how to do it or whatever.
Mm.
Praetorian.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say teaches, but like keeps them all in line, I guess.
Exactly, yeah, for sure.
So I guess, that's where you could say that the Praetorians are the front line of the New World Order, because they might not be the people setting the agenda or the people that like own the scams, but they're the people that put it in, that implement it. So.
Oh, the Babylon movement.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's always the kings and stuff that are like really behind it, but you don't really see them much.
No.
So they have to put a face to it.
Exactly.
And that's where the celebrity comes into play, I guess.
Yes, exactly, yeah, for sure.
Because they need them for a lot of the agendas. They need them for.
More like on the lines of crisis actors.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we have to look out for. If there's any, if you notice any crisis actors, if you see any anybody looking for casting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Then take note, because you know that they're up to something.
Yeah. Well, a good example is the Boston bombings. They used a lot of them there.
Mm-hmm.
It was quite obvious.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a drill. Right? Most people take it as at face value, as this actually happened. I talk to people about the Boston bombings all the time, and they're shaking their heads. Really? You mean it was a drill? No, they can't believe it. Nobody got killed or injured there.
The one brother is still alive too. I did see a thing on the news, I think, that he's trying to get reduced sentence or something. He's got his lawyers trying to appeal.
Yeah. But if you didn't do it, how can you be kept under lock and key when you didn't do it? You know, it had nothing to do with it.
Well, they try to blame the older brother, I guess.
Yes.
And say that he was just being manipulated by the older brother.
Yeah. And weren't they actually interviewed by the news? The older brother was actually interviewed by the news.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
They definitely had been by the FBI a bunch of times.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
And they had been warned, I think Russian officials too had warned them that to watch these brothers, because they knew that they had terror ties, I guess.
Yeah.
Because Russia's got the Chechnyan rebels or whatever.
But that's where the attention had to go towards them to keep the government free to do whatever they wanted.
Right.
And they got Kraft International, who was there.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a picture of one guy who had the black backpack on with the little white patch.
Yeah, the huge backpack. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. And another photo showing him running away without the backpack on.
Yeah.
So he was the one. He was the one that placed that backpack at that particular area there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were like a government agency.
Yeah.
So you got to focus on the young guys to take away from what the government is doing. That's the old trick in the book. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And people could be saying, why are we bringing up the Boston bombing? Why are we talking about 9/11? Why are we talking about this stuff? But really, once you know that they've done this in the past, then you can figure it out when they do it again.
Exactly.
Because it's quite obvious that they want to try to do something with Russia too, and that they're going to have a big incident so they can provoke a conflict with Russia.
Exactly. Yeah.
Where and it actually seems like Trump doesn't want to do it. But
No.
it does seem like all the other ones want to do it, like
Exactly.
Republicans and Democrats. And
So Trump did good with getting South Korea and North Korea together, negotiating, bringing peace, and all that kind of stuff, which was a good thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So we can give Trump some credit there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I was in Hong Kong when he got elected, anyways,
Ah,
which was November 9th, 2016, which is a hidden 9/11.
oh yeah, yeah, it's true.
Yep, yeah, for sure.
11/9, yeah.
11/9, yeah,
Huh.
yeah, for sure. And they've been putting him down even before he got elected
Hmm.
to make Hillary Clinton more valuable to them.
Yeah,
That he's got a chance to get in.
yeah, it is going to be ridiculous if they try to bring her back in for 2020, but
Yeah,
we'll see.
I don't. I heard that The Rock is going to be probably throwing in his hat.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'm just not sure if they're ready for it, just because
Yeah, I
his
don't
dad's
think.
Canadian and his mom's from Samoan Islands, and
Yeah, yeah, Rocky Johnson.
yeah,
He lives out in Nova Scotia.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And what we have to worry about, though, in Canada is that our next federal election, we're less than a year away.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like we have an election every time we turn around.
Yeah. But this one is going to be Trudeau in the hot seat, and Trudeau has apparently got the worst approval ratings he's ever had
Yes, I agree.
right now.
That too.
People are just, they've had enough of it. And the other thing the rebel did was a Freedom of Information Act. Apparently they've got all the notes on all the ships he's been buying for his retreat at Harrington Lake.
Yes.
They call it an armada of ships. He's requested multiple canoes, paddle boats, and then a whole bunch of other speedboats and different crafts.
Well, he's preparing himself for when he gets unelected. He's got somewhere to go, and he's going to be living a good life.
Yeah. Yeah, so then we'll see how many of the things he takes with him, because the Harrington Lake is supposed to be the retreat for the Prime Minister, the current one. So
Yeah, exactly.
it's hard to believe he would leave it for Jagmeet Singh or
Yeah.
Andrew Scheer.
Yeah. Well, when Trudeau does leave, he's going to have a good pension, very good pension, at least 250,000 or whatever.
Oh yeah, that'll be for life. Yeah.
Because his name, he'll probably get more.
Yeah, or that he doesn't even need it because he's still board of directors of the Trudeau Foundation. So
Yes, but it doesn't matter. You're
Right.
going to get it anyway.
right. Yeah, that's probably his real job. Just like John Tory's real job is that he's on the board of trust for Rogers still.
Yes,
And
yes.
that being mayor of Toronto is just like a side job for
Yeah.
side gig.
With Tory, he's okay, but then again, when he's going, what turned me off about him now is all about going after the guns.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not. He didn't talk about crime or the crime gangs or anything like that. Going
No.
for guns.
It's the
period.
people that have legal guns. Yeah. That's because that's the only people they can go after is people that have legal guns.
Because criminals don't go by laws; they go by
No.
the rules.
Yeah, and they have no concern with that. And they asked him about how it felt like to be the mayor during the worst violence in Toronto history. And then he just gave us something about how things like the van attack on Yonge Street.
Yes.
He hopes that things like that will never happen again. So that if you don't have the 11 people that died there, then maybe the numbers aren't as bad.
Yes, yeah. Well, the number 11. The elites like using the number 11.
Yeah. Yeah. And we know that the Danforth shooting, that was a big cover-up too, because they revealed that a bunch of the notes had the Sharpie. They were being censored or redacted. I guess they call it redacted.
Right.
When they give them to the press. But they
Yeah.
didn't do it deep enough so you could hold it up to the light and still see what was written under there.
Right.
And then they found that the guy had a whole arsenal in his house.
Wow.
The Danforth shooter.
Yeah.
AK-47s and all kinds of bullets and all kinds of other guns.
But AK-47s, those are what you call the assault rifles, right?
Yeah. Fully automatic, yeah.
But the one thing that gets me In the United States, you can't even purchase one. That's military. You can't purchase one in a store. If you go to Canadian Tire, you can't purchase one.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no way
So where do they get it? Yeah, exactly.
to get it. Or if it is one, because I've seen protests where these people protesting about gun violence and all that kind of stuff. We have the truthers out there showing people a whole bunch of guns here and asking them, okay, where's the assault rifle in this picture?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even know what one looked like.
Yeah. Huh.
And you're complaining about all this AK-40 and all that kind of stuff. You don't even know what a gun looks like, for crying out loud.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing here protesting?
Yeah.
You do your research first before, they said, okay, this gun here, he's pointing them out to this guy. Is okay, this gun here, that should be banned, blah, blah, blah. But that gun's for a small arms one for shooting squirrels or rabbits or anything like that. He didn't even know about that either.
Yeah.
So what are you protesting about? You don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, that brings us back to the yellow vests.
Yellow vests, yeah.
The worldwide international protest movement. So do you think it's a scam too, or you're not sure?
I don't know enough about it yet, but I'm just looking at the people in general, and they look like pretty honest population, like there's probably infiltration of black bloc types, where they in France they'd go after the news stations,
Yeah.
tearing down walls and tearing down blockades and everything like that, setting fires and all that kind of stuff
Yeah,
too.
it is pretty crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've definitely seen bad stuff happen there out of the police and stuff. You've seen girl lost an eye. They shot her eye out. There's a clip you can see where they flip over a guy in a wheelchair.
Oh yeah.
Just leave him on the ground.
Yeah, because Luke was down there from We Are Change, and he was covering everything on the ground, and he said it was pretty chaotic over there.
Yeah.
And, he had to watch out for himself too.
Yeah, I'm sure it must have been crazy because they even had they have the protesters throwing back the those flashbang things.
Right.
And then there is the clip too where one guy lost his hand. Basically, he blew up in his hand. You see him running around with his hand is crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
But they did say that it started because people were opposed to the carbon tax, or what they did was they did the same thing that they did here, where they put the carbon tax in the gasoline, they hiked the price of gasoline because of a carbon tax.
Yeah, but now the the gas prices are low, just around the dollar mark or below.
Yeah, here, but over there it's you're paying a lot more.
Exactly, yeah.
Where it's people are willing to basically drop everything and just go out and protest every weekend. I think it's been 6 or 7 weeks in a row it's been happening.
I think it's more than just the carbon tax and the gas prices.
Yeah.
I think there's more to it than that.
It is, but then that is where one of the things why I think it's sort of a scheme is because they don't have a list of demands. We don't actually know what they want. When would this ever end? What do the protesters need?
Yeah, exactly.
Other than they want the current president to resign, Emmanuel Macron.
Yeah, or did he resign already?
No,
I'm not sure.
He didn't resign, but he did say that they're going to not add the tax to the gas.
Oh yeah.
They're not going to keep increasing the price or whatever.
Right.
But that didn't stop them from protesting, and now it's because just the endless nature of it, that part makes me think that it's sort of like a New World Order scam. It's we just want to get all the people, to basically destroy their own society.
Exactly. I mean, there's all this order out of chaos and, all this kind of stuff going on. Yeah.
And that what they can use, because the reason that they need that is because they need a reason to create a even bigger police force, a EU police force. And they're even using the EU tanks in France. The tanks have the EU flag on the side, not the French flag.
Right.
And that they could then start bringing that force anywhere. That force could go worldwide.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You just have it in Paris now because everyone knows Paris. It's like the biggest city, one of the most famous cities in the world. But then they could actually just bring it, to, to a small town in Hungary, or who knows where they're going next. Poland, probably.
Poland, yeah, for sure. It's
any country that doesn't take the migrants, they want to.
Yeah.
They want to do a regime change.
Exactly. Yeah,
until they start taking them.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a global pact. But that's the one good thing that I thought of when they signed the global pact.
Yeah. Was
that it could have benefits for us. Is that if they start doing a yellow vest scam here, then we should be allowed to migrate somewhere else where they're not doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
And like as violent as Toronto gets, then that should mean that a global migration pact, we should be allowed to leave. Go somewhere nice, maybe New Zealand, something.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad.
Somewhere where people are nice. Yeah.
Sure. I'll go to Singapore, Malaysia. It's nice there.
Yeah. So we can look on the bright side of the UN Global Migration Compact.
Hong Kong's a good city to. Well, actually, Hong Kong's too expensive.
Yeah.
It's one of the most expensive places to live in the world.
Wow.
The problem is there. You know how much? You know how big a parking spot is, right?
Yeah.
Some people that are just normal workers can't afford a condo, so they have to live in a space no bigger than that.
Wow.
I've seen it.
Yeah, that's scary.
It is, because you can't live there. It's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Look at in Toronto, it's getting expensive now too. They got the one condo, like renting one condo is like $28,000 a month.
Yeah, it's scary. That's what it's becoming. Yeah.
Like
we're becoming Hong Kong.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. So, but to go to visit Hong Kong is probably the crime rate is fairly low.
Mm-hmm.
Fairly low. Because everybody's busy working. They don't have time to, do crime.
Yeah.
They work 24/7. They get home, they sleep, they eat, whatever. They got no time to commit any crimes unless you got a lot of time on your hands.
Yeah.
But their courthouses are big. They're huge things.
Mm-hmm.
How do they make their money? It must be really big crimes committed by the upper echelons of society.
Yeah.
Not the lower class of people.
Right.
But you get people are going in that they're driving without a license.
Huh.
They still have the same policies over there as they do here.
Mm-hmm.
They go under the two systems, the communist and the Western or the English
mm-hmm.
system. So that's what they go by.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So in their courthouses, they wear those wigs. You know what I mean?
Huh. Still the old English.
Yeah, exactly. They still do that.
Huh. Well, I guess that is where we're headed, because we already have the old English heritage. We just need to bring in the communism, and then
yeah, for sure.
So that could be. Now we might know Trudeau's next campaign. We'll see how the next year goes. Yeah,
I told Dan Dix from Press for Truth. I said, you watch. It's going to be an interesting 2019.
Yeah.
This is just 2018 is just to get the ball rolling. But when you got the alley in 2019 is a longer alley, so we're going to have a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we have to look forward to on ABR, Angry Beaver Radio.
Yes,
We'll keep it up for 2019.
Yes, I think we should get pick up a certain day where we can do the show.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so we can keep it once a week.
Yeah.
And we'll keep posting normally some stuff, that
mm-hmm.
we can post. We can do that, no problem. We're up for that.
Yeah, that would be the ideal. We'll just keep going till they kick us off, because we know it's inevitable.
Yeah, exactly.
At this point. But we'll keep going till it stops. Right now, YouTube seems pretty open. Because one thing is, they did remove Alex Jones' channel, but the thing they didn't do is remove anyone else that had posted videos of his, or videos with him in it. They're all still allowed to keep it up.
Well, even when I'm on Facebook, sometimes I'll post something political, and nobody's come take me off.
Yeah.
Because I don't concentrate on just the one thing. I'm on there generally because I got friends on there.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I put in a few political things all at the same time, So
Yeah.
So kind of like takes their focus off me,
Mm-hmm.
right? But there are other guys that have been put into Facebook jail and all that kind of stuff, and the whole bit.
Yeah.
Alex Fraser or whatever,
Huh.
one guy up there. Lawrence, I haven't seen him on there too much.
Mm-hmm.
James Fetzer, I haven't seen him on there lately.
I
think he
all these
take-
guys could be suspended. You never know. When you don't see someone, either they're taking a break or they've been,
Yeah, exactly.
or the break's been taken for them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But Luke Rakowski, We Are Change, he's on there doing his live videos. And he's had the Syrian girl on talking about what's going on in Syria and all that kind of stuff. And he's doing okay for himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm glad he's gotten a lot better over the years.
Yeah.
Doing a lot more with Jason Burmas
Mm-hmm.
as well.
Yeah,
So-
it's good to see that not everyone's given up. They're all still doing it. Dan Dix, We Are Change,
Mm-hmm.
they're all still out there. So
Yeah,
that's why we got to just keep it up.
exactly.
So we should probably just wrap this show up, but we got to once again pay tribute or respects to Mark Matthews, who passed away as our.
He's looking down on us, and he wish he could be here right now.
Yeah.
And telling us, because he had a lot of input on a lot of different subjects, and I was really proud of him and what he brought to the table, and we miss him. Love you, Mark. So,
Yeah.
We're doing this for him, and we'll keep the show going for him as well.
For sure.
Oh, for sure. No problem.
Yeah. It's been Danny Liberty here with Mike Matthews.
Yep. The Libertarian.
Angry Beaver Radio. This is our 2018. This is our December 28th, 2018 special.
Yep.
And so yeah, I guess we'll see it. We'll see you 2019, and look out for some more archives too from the past. ABR will be coming up on YouTube too.
I like it. Love it.
Cool. Yeah, it was good talking to you, Mike.
It's been a pleasure.
We're-
Let's keep fighting the good fight, as Dan Tick says.
Word is bond.
Word is bond.